Joker 2. Before we start this video, I just want to put in that there will be spoilers for the story, for the ending, for everything. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Joker 2, I would head out now. But I also don't really advise to see this movie. I mean, I got lucky with this movie at my local theater. They do $5 Tuesdays, and I saw it on Tuesday and only had to spend $5 on this movie. If I had to spend close to $16, $20, I would be maybe a little more upset in this review. But since I only had to pay $5, maybe I'm okay with it. Well, not to say okay with it, but better with it. So I saw Joker 2, and I honestly don't really have much to say about it, but I will say some things about it. It felt like the movie was longer than the actual runtime, which is, it's never a good sign when, the consumer feels that. Right off the bat, I will say I was not a fan. I did not like the movie. However, I do not think it was terrible like some reviews are painting it out to be. Bad, definitely, but terrible? Not terrible. There's a few things that actually make this worth seeing that I believe some people might get enjoyment from. I want to start with some things that I like, because there's definitely some things that I like and more things that I don't like. I like the character of Arthur Fleck. I think it's a cool concept. Harley Quinn was good, but I feel like she wasn't really meant for it, but the actors did great in this movie. Courtroom dramas could be cool. That's what kind of the movie is about. And bringing back all the old characters from the first, I don't know if they're old characters, but from the first movie was cool to see. Harvey Dent was a cool addition to the movie, making it feel like it is Gotham and not just like a, different type of thing. But I don't really... Off the bat, I'm doing this off the whim. I don't really know if I like much more other than that. I mean, when I say I like Harley Quinn, it was cool to see Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, but I almost feel like she wasn't even needed. But we'll go into that. But let's get to the things that I really didn't like. There's nothing to relate to. And this is strong to say, because I obviously don't want to say I relate to this character because, you don't really want to relate to the Joker. But a lot of people could kind of paint that, there's certain things wrong with society, I guess. But we're not going to go deep into that. But there's certain things wrong with society, especially in the time frame for Arthur Fleck, that people can relate to. How he's being picked on, his mental illness and everything. It's relatable. This one makes Arthur feel like he really is just a villain at this point. The movie was congested, only really taking place in two spots, the Arkham Penitentiary and the courtroom. Harley Quinn did feel forced in this movie. It felt like this movie could have been without her. They could have changed a few things and not had her in the movie, but you know what? She was in the movie. Lady Gaga did a good job. I'll give her that. The movie's sole purpose did not feel like a conclusion to the story, but more of what I hate to say, and I really hate saying this for certain movies, a money grab. The Joker 1 was great. It made so much money. They decided to go big or go home on the second one. It failed. I mean, it's not making progress at the box office. It's going to be losing a lot of money. It did less numbers than Morbius, which Morbius is historically bad. So yeah, it did feel like a money grab, and it's upsetting because the Joker 1 was really good, and it really made me think and made me like the character of Joker more, and especially in Gotham and everything. It made me like Joker more. This one made me feel like I wasted time in this franchise now, in this part of DC. It really didn't feel like Arthur Fleck. Well, Arthur Fleck from the first. In the first movie, he seems misunderstood, but to a certain degree, he's obviously has some mental issues, and obviously you're kind of trying to decipher what's real to him, what's fake. There's the plot twist at the end of the first one. This one, it seems like everything is real, and he's just being taken advantage of by Harley Quinn, and he's just making the wrong decisions because he's going further into kind of his craziness. And to me, it just doesn't feel like it because, like I said before, he's not relatable anymore. He's really just a bad guy. And that could be very well what they were going for, because I guess Joker isn't a good guy in terms of DC and, Batman and everything, but it felt like the first movie was trying to make you kind of understand why the Joker was made, if it was a movement or if it was an actual person. But this one just makes you like, this kind of sucks. The movie does constantly remind you what he did in the last movie, which was weird. Like, they almost didn't trust that you would watch the first movie before seeing this movie, which I get from some studios, but I feel like more people, they definitely saw Joker 1 before seeing Joker 2, so it felt weird that they were like, yeah, he kept saying, I killed 5 people, I killed 6 people, and then they reminded you from the people what he did in the last movie and all that. I get it's a courtroom drama and it's gonna come up, but it felt like they did it a little too much, like going deep with like the movie that they made and everything. But let's talk about it, right? Let's get to the point everybody wanted to talk about, the musical element. Oh man, I hate the musical element of this. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of musicals in general. I probably would say I don't really like them. I don't hate them, but I thought it was a unique idea that could actually work with the Joker and Harley Quinn in this movie, but it did not work to me. It just felt like the random breaking out in song and dance just felt pointless. It didn't add anything to the story. It just felt like it was there because they wanted to try and be a little different. Again, it didn't add anything to the story. It felt like watching it was just take me out of certain scenes, just when you're about to break through the story and progress the character and get to the next scene, there's a 4-minute dance and song that has nothing really to do, nothing. The characters aren't telling you how they feel. There's certain scenes though that do, I guess, do that in the song and dance, but it's very, very rare in this movie. And it just takes me out of the story. But again, you can't really go off of me of that because I don't really like music. That's the thing. I don't really understand them that well. So maybe I'm just one of those people who don't like musicals, and I didn't want to see a musical really badly, but I thought it was a unique idea for the movie. Again, there are a few parts where the song works, like, and here's the spoilers for Joker a little deeper in, Harley shooting Joker in the middle of the movie and, kind of setting up the stage at the end of the movie, I guess, kind of making you think, who kills Joker here? Did Harley Quinn kill Joker, or later on did the inmate kill Joker, or did Harley Quinn kill Joker and the inmate killed Arthur Fleck, and there really are two personalities? Because that's kind of what the movie goes into, is that they're trying to say that Arthur Fleck has another personality, which is Joker, which he will ultimately deny, but we'll get into that. The story of it is simple. It's a courtroom drama trying to see if Arthur Fleck is crazy and if the Joker persona is real. Arthur eventually does not take up the role of the Joker, who eventually loses his support from his followers, as some of them leaving the courtroom, and most importantly to him, losing Harley Quinn's support. She obviously fell in love with the Joker persona and not Arthur Fleck, and it's honestly disappointing to fans, as we thought he would maybe embrace the classic comic book villain we loved instead of dismissing it. I will say that glass half full, the memes that came out of this was great when, you see memes that it's like the title's not Joker, it's just Arthur Fleck, and you're like, what am I watching? I don't know. I guess we gotta look at some of the positives. But as someone who loved the first one, it felt like they challenged who the Joker was and what society is to him. It seems that they lost that in this movie, which makes me think, what went wrong? Did people just automatically toss this up as a money grab and didn't really care for it and already wrote it off and didn't like it? Was it that the musical elements just didn't work in this movie? Did the story make no sense? Was it not relatable? Were these characters bad? There's so many different things that were against this movie that they tried maybe to push, and it just did not work. It ends with what I think Arthur is being set up by the prison guards when he hears a joke from an inmate who stabs him and kills him, ultimately ending Arthur's life. I actually didn't hate that because it does challenge, like I said before, does Harley Quinn kill Joker and does the inmate kill Arthur Fleck? But with that being said, if there is a spinoff, specifically a Harley Quinn spinoff, I will take a huge turn and I will hate the ending so much. But I guess one thing you could take away from this movie is the Joker of movement or a person. And, I guess it makes you think in some ways, but again, I don't think we needed this movie, but only because it just didn't entertain us, I felt. It causes more problems to the character than anything. But you let me know, did you see Joker 2? What did you think of Joker 2? What do you think's next for them? Or you think they're done? Let me know all that down below.